Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Josh. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're gonna keep talking about some more Godzilla versus Kong, right? Yeah, we've talked about the film endlessly, right? But that's only because we're all hyped, right? We all want to see this movie so bad. It's been delayed so many times, whether it's due to certain things like productions or the coronavirus pandemic and all that. But finally, we're going to be able to see this movie at the end of March. And today, so I'm not gonna focus on the whole toys idea much. And today, we're gonna talk a little bit more about the film itself, because as you read in the title, basically, we're going to be talking about how misunderstanding and misinterpretation pretty much almost hurt the film, almost to an extent where it could have actually ruined this movie. Now, originally, I was going to call this video misinformation, but it's more of a misinterpretation, if anything else. And in case you guys don't understand what I'm talking about, right? I'm gonna jump straight into it right now, right? So basically, last year around March, right, an article just kind of came out of nowhere, right? I can't really remember what article it was. It was either uh bounding into comics or something like that. There was a whole bunch of articles talking about this actress. Let me see if I'm saying her name right. Asa Gonzalez, right? I think that's her name, right? So sorry about that. So she mentions how the film is gonna be about like two young girls or something like that, right? So she says the heart of Godzilla versus Kong is two young girls, right? And you're probably thinking, okay, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Well, apparently, a lot of people sort of mistook this for some sort of like woke agenda or something like that, right? I think Comic Book News, I think they were the first people that kind of announced this sort of thing that she said, right? And a lot of people were like, Godzilla versus Kong may be woke, hint Cesar Gonzalez, right? Now, I'm gonna say this right now: the word woke means nothing at this point. I don't even want to say that word really. It's just so ridiculous. But basically, what I'm trying to say here is that a lot of people were worried that this movie was going to have some sort of like political agenda kind of going on, right? Or some sort of like SJW sort of situations, right? So, in case you guys don't know what that is, right? So, an SJW is a social justice warrior where they're basically people that are fighting for nothing. Basically, they're like whiny babies, obviously, right? It's like people that kind of complain over the most smallest thing and then they make into such like a big deal and all that though. Now I'm gonna say this right now. I'm not a political person. This is not a political channel. I like to do all this stuff for fun and all that. But I think it's important to mention this because it's so odd how this one entity almost kind of hurt the film to a big extent. Because I'm gonna tell you this right now, nobody likes films like this. Nobody likes movies where they're always like put some sort of weird political agenda. Otherwise, not only does it hurt the film, but no one's gonna watch it because when we watch movies, we want to watch them for fun and not to be told something that we honestly don't really give a shit about, right? Obviously, like I said, Godzilla vs. Kong is not doing that. It is a movie that is meant to be fun and very ballistic, right? Amazing, incredible. You got two of the most iconic characters throughout history, both ginormous monsters fighting each other. I mean, come on, how can how's this movie gonna have some sort of like political agenda, man? Of course not. Even the last movie didn't do that. Godzilla is the least series you would expect to put some sort of weird sort of political agenda going on. And the reason why this idea kind of came to be, it's because a lot of people, for the past couple of years, we've been getting these weird films where they always put some sort of agenda and it hurts the movie without a doubt because nobody likes stuff like that. And if you guys don't understand what I mean by that, what I mean is when, they'll do how do I the only way I can really explain this if I use examples, right? But I mean, I don't want people to get triggered when I use these examples and all that. But I'm just gonna say it, right? It's kind of like the 2016 Ghostbusters movie, the one with all the Ghostbusters being females and all that, right? Now, obviously, the issue was not that they were all female Ghostbusters, but the problem is that they made this movie kind of political. They kind of made it, to that point. And it's like, first of all, one, nobody wanted a reboot of a classic series. They wanted a continuation. And yeah, now we're actually getting that with Ghostbusters Afterlife, which I'm assuming it's meant to come out this year, but I'm not sure. I'm not too much on the whole Ghostbuster lore, but you get the idea, right? So Sony thought it was a good idea to reboot the series, but then they made it kind of political with the whole female empowerment thing or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with having female empowerment. There's nothing wrong with that exactly. It's the way they do it is a problem. That's kind of where it goes down to. And sure, they'll give the excuse saying that, oh, it's about diversity and all that. And listen, there's nothing wrong with diversity. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's forced diversity that people have a problem with. Nobody likes that. Forced diversity is when you're forcing something, upon the characters or some sort of agenda with the film, and that affects the movie to such a big extent where that's all you're pretty much focused on now. Because if you watch the 2016 Ghostbusters film, you'll kind of notice that for some reason they kind of treat all the guys like idiots, like anyone who's a man, like anyone who has a ding dong or whatever like that. Either they're assholes or jerks or just there, like no purpose, whatever, right? They focus a lot like on the female side, but they're trying. It's like they're fighting against sexism, but with more sexism. You know what I mean? Though instead of equality, you're kind of making it worse, and that's kind of what happened. That's why the movie got so much big trouble. Because nobody wanted to watch a film for any sort of political issues. And, like when it comes to like diversity, like forced diversity and all that, right? And of course, that the directors and the actresses had to kind of come out saying, oh, it's just sexist men who don't want to. And it's like, no, you can't just automatically think that. It's not like that at all. You can't be doing stuff like that. I don't understand. How did this become a political issue all of a sudden? That's what happened. It became a political issue. And it sucks because putting politics in films is never a good idea. Unless you're The Purge. I mean, then that's kind of a different situation because The Purge has some political stuff going on, but at least it's pretty decent, even though I don't really know too much about The Purge, but that's whatever, Not trying to, not trying to I'm not trying to like kind of, get off topic with the whole Godzilla thing. I'm just trying to make a point as to what people thought this movie was going to be, even though in reality, Godzilla vs. Kong is not politically correct. It is not meant to give out some sort of weird SJW agenda. It's not like that at all. Godzilla vs. Kong is going to be a fun monster movie. And I'm going to say right now, I beg you, come on, people, go see this movie, please. You want to see it, right? Go see it. If you have HBO Max, watch it on HBO Max. If you want to go see it in theaters, go see it in theaters. Don't let none of this false stuff, mess up what you think of this film. Because long story short, this actually became a deal where even people on YouTube was talking about this, and I was pretty worried too, because. I wasn't thinking that the movie was going to end up with an issue, with some sort of diversity sort of issue like that or whatever. I wasn't thinking about that. I was 100% sure like this cannot be right. I think many people were just kind of misinterpreting what she was saying, because I think what happened is that they made it sound like that the movie's going to be focused on just these two characters alone, and not much about the monsters, but just more about the relations and whatever. And, people felt that it was kind of like a weird politically correct kind of situation going on, even though in reality, I mean, we've seen the trailer now and we already know what's going to happen, and there is no political stuff going on. So we don't have to worry about that. But it's shocking to see that many people thought that was going to be the issue. And, that was like, oh man, that could have definitely hurt the film, because no one's going to watch movies that has that, I've already mentioned Ghostbusters, right? Now let's talk about Black Christmas, 2019 Black Christmas, right? What a piece of shit that movie was. Oh my God. Listen, I haven't started my movie reviews yet, but if I did, very well I'm going to start talking about those movies. You know that for sure. I know that these movies have been talked about to death already, but I have a lot to say, and you know very well I'm gonna say it's start talking about them. Like come on, this is like nobody likes stuff like this in our movie, and yet they still do it anyway. That's still an issue. And it's like, why? You never see these with any old movies or all that. That's kind of why I'm more of an old style type of guy. That's why I love older movies. Because it's like nowadays they always gotta put something into kind of, and it's like, that again, that's what forced diversity does. We don't want forced diversity, we just want normal diversity. What was wrong with that? Black Christmas, this is a remake too, by the way. There's so many things wrong with this film. The original Black Christmas came out in 1974, right? And it's supposed to be like kind of like your basic horror movie, basically, right? It's about a killer who goes after these college girls or whatever like that, or it's something like that, right? There was also a remake, but I don't know too much about the remake. It looks okay for the most part. Um, I will tell you one thing for sure though. If you watch the trailer for the remake, it's very misleading. That's all I'm gonna say. But like I said, this is not a movie review channel, right? No, 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 no. We're not talking about that yet. I mean, this is. I do want to talk about movies. So it's not a movie review channel yet, right? But basically, what I'm trying to say is that this 2019 remake, right? I don't know if it's like a remake or a reboot. I don't know what they did because they changed the whole concept of the film, and it is terrible because they changed it for a political agenda where it's about like these strong females or whatever like that fighting against these sexist men, and yeah, they really really want to put the idea straight up that the men are like sexist, like they're pigs, like they think of women like objects and all. And they do this to every single guy, even the nice guy too. At the beginning of the movie, it's like he's okay, but then towards the end, he's one of the sexist men, And the whole plot of the movie basically is that there's like a cult going on, right? And then there's people killing these girls, right? In this campus or whatever, right? This movie was oh my god, I didn't see this in the theater obviously because I knew this was going to be crap. I only watched it because my dad was watching it because even he was pissed that the movie sucked ass. And he looked at it differently. Obviously, he doesn't know much about the whole political stuff and all that. He's not into that. He's pretty mellow when it comes to that, right? But for me, I already know some of the background story behind this, right? I mean, for crying out loud, they made the main character like a sexual assault survivor, and that's fine, but they don't really do nothing with that. They just kind of mention it, and you're just supposed to like kind of take it, and it's like, I mean, okay, but what does that have to do with the film, though? The movie's PG-13 too, so it's not even violent. So it's like I don't know what they try to. It's like it tries to be horror, but it fails so bad on doing that. Like even as a movie, logically, it's just so stupid. Like there's this one scene where one of the killers gets like a crossbow or something like that, and then you see the girls running, and then I'm like, oh yeah, sure, a whole bunch of girls running away from one guy with a crossbow. Like I said, this is not a movie review, but I'm just saying this movie got panned because of its politicalness, and obviously it's because of that the movie is a piece of shit. This thing it flopped, it made no money, got bad reviews, rightfully so, because it is garbage. Not only because of its political agenda, but also because it's just not a very good movie. Also, who asked for a remake of Black Christmas when we already had one? Do we really need more? Come on, Hollywood, you know. And I feel bad too because it's like movies like Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and it's like those movies, they generally go out to be good, fun movies. They might not be perfect, but they're great movies all out. But then they're always just kind of looked down upon just because of how stupid and whack they are. But you know what? I'd rather watch movies like that than watch anything with an agenda. Nobody likes that. There is so many more examples too. This is not Black Christmas and Ghostbusters 2016. Those are not the only examples. There are way more out there. Oh, don't even get me started on Charles Angels. Don't get me Don't get me started on that. I don't even want to. I just want to talk about Godzilla, man. I don't want to talk about this, bruh. Ugh. it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth, honestly. I don't know what to think of this, really. It's just ridiculous. And the fact that people thought that this movie was going to end up with this scenario is just ridiculous. Now, like I said, right, this was the whole thing with the article, right, that the actress put out, right? This was misinterpreted because she said it's about two girls or whatever, whatever. You know what I'm talking about, right? I'm sorry. I'm trying to focus on the live chat and then talk at the same time. It just gets a little bit difficult. This, I'm telling you, my dad's going insane, but it's whatever. This is slowly turned to a completely different video. I know. I'm sorry. Best I can game. I'm sorry, but it's like, it's just so weird, man. Like, now, like I say, it's not misinformation, but this is like where people thought that, they thought one thing, but it actually isn't. And plus, we already know what the two girls is anyway. Now that we've seen the trailer, even though it took us forever to get one, but we kind of get a better understanding, right? We know that Millie Bobby Brown character, Madison, we know that she's back in the film. There's also the little girl that Kong likes. She's the one in the trailer that she has like the weird doll thing. She puts it up and then Kong just kind of sees it. So I think we kind of get what the gist is. I don't think we really need to like kind of worry. What I'm trying to say is that this movie's not political, right? It's not going for that idea. This is just meant to be kind of a normal film. Nothing, no agendas, right? This is going to be, I said it many times, this is going to be a good movie, right? Go see it, right? This is not going to be no politicalness, no none of that. Finally, it's like a fresh air too, because we get so many of these movies that are like this for the past couple of years, and it is just so annoying. It's like everybody complains, and yet, but we still get more of this crap anyway. Like, come on, Hollywood, can you listen to the people? Forget it. You're not going to listen to the people. Of course not. What else do we expect? And it's weird that I brung this up, right? This article was a year ago. This came out in no, not really. It's going to be almost a year in about a month, because this article came out right around in March of 2020, if I'm correct, right? And you're probably thinking, right? Why didn't you talk about it back then? Why are you talking about it now, right? I mean, I don't know, man. I just thought I'd mention this because a lot of people were worried that a lot of anti-SJW like channels were gonna like talk about this film and talk about how woke it's gonna be, and that's obviously not the case. So don't listen to this, man. Go see the movie. It's gonna be great. I wouldn't worry about this. So I'm gonna end it right here. So please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content. I'm gonna be doing some gameplay soon. I'm gonna start my Devil May Cry playthroughs, hopefully, with no problems. But besides that, stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So, see ya.